Expert hunters have found themselves enlisting the aid of beasts to help them in their travels, to track prey and fight alongside its master, to take down even the most dangerous of foes. To have the strength and charisma to be in control of the most ferocious of beasts is to be a Beastmaster. To know that you alone are not enough to take on your foes is to be a Beastmaster. To give treats to your monstrous companions like a common house pet is to be a Beastmaster. A Beastmaster, we're talking about Beastmaster here. Specifically what I want from the Beastmaster class, since at this moment we have no idea what the class is like unless the upcoming letter of the producer addresses it, in which case I have wasted days trying to make this video. So yeah, that's fun. What I'm gonna be doing is laying down some of the ideas I want for the class. We know it will be a limited job, just like Blue Mage, so you can't actually do much content with it, and it's mostly just a kind of a mini game in Final Fantasy XIV, to be honest. Which means the devs get to do something different with it, or at least I hope they do, to be honest. Let's not kid ourselves here. Final Fantasy XIV historically hates pet classes. They have changed them so much to the point that the pets are not really entities of their own and are more akin to just a flashy effect next to your character. That carbuncle could be replaced with an error asset and it would be no different. Like, at all. It would just be the exact same thing. I could place anything on it and it would just be the exact same thing as anything else. In Final Fantasy XI, you go to the overworld and charm monsters who become your allies temporarily. Emphasis on temporarily, since once time runs out, they become aggressive towards you. You eventually are able to summon a familiar pet using an item though, which, I mean, is good. It's not exactly what I want though, but, you know, it works. For Final Fantasy XIV, I have some hopes and dreams that I want to throw in here. I know it will be asking too much since it's basically a whole new game within a game, but hey, I never said I would limit myself on my wishlist for Beastmaster, right? I personally want Beastmaster to have a more in-depth pet racing gimmick to it. I do not want to be the one in combat spamming my skills while my pet is on the side poking at the enemy deck chocobos. I actually want to see my pet, you know, being the one fighting, while I issue commands and throw support items, something akin to one of my favorite franchises, Digimon World. If you thought I was gonna say Pokemon, that being turn-based might make things more complicated for the dev team, so I kinda threw that out of the window. With Final Fantasy XIV being the way it is, it makes more sense to use the Chocobo combat as a base for the new gimmick. Digimon World games, at least the first one and the New World Order one, are fun for me because I get to take care of my pet monsters. Yeah, we can't actually see them grow and transform in 14, but we can at least see them improve with skills, levels and strength. We could even feed them diet-specific meals depending on what kind of monsters they are. For example, if you have a behemoth, you could just feed them like meat items, and you need to keep your monster in a good mood with the specific items, or like just feeding them in general so they can do extra damage. Now, I know that would just be boring and kinda tedious to a lot of people. I can understand that. It would make our equipment kinda pointless, unless they figure out a way that our equipment stats affects the pet itself, but all I want is to make sure that we are not the only ones doing something in the combat. Which actually reminds me, going back to the pet racing gimmick, when talking about the pet we select to be our partner, my biggest hopes are that we get to level it up, instead of being synced to our level. You know, we actually get to race it. Gives people an excuse to go back to lower level zones and gives us a chance to actually feel like we are racing a creature rather than just summon our new set of hotbars. Our selected pet should level up, be fed, and be taught new skills by either leveling or spending some gil at the Beastmaster trainer, which, let's be honest, that could be a gil thing on its own. Speaking of the Beast trainers, I am really hoping they are Leon and Pagaga. You know, the survivors of Bozja. Come on, it will be a great time. Maybe they can actually finish the story properly. Now, if any of those mechanics sound kind of familiar, it's because they are. I played some World of Warcraft Classic during Season of Discovery, and I fell in love with the hunter pet mechanic of having to actually take care of it, making sure it was in a good mood, getting specific food that it liked depending on the pet, and getting it new skills. You know, actually training your beast. Like a Beastmaster, who knew? Now, this may be a bit more complicated than what the dev team will actually give us, but it's what I want. It's actually what I want. It would even be fun if we get to name our pet like World of Warcraft players get to do. I even asked some of my community over on Twitter and got even more excited over the idea of beating up a giant behemoth with a turtle named Stu, or a slime named Gooey, Some folks even name their in-game pets after real-life pets, which is kind of cute, not gonna lie. Now, yeah, you might be able to get a bunch of pets, and maybe you think, maybe the 14 cannot name all of those, and I keep all of those names in there. But it is possible to do this. We already have the groundworks of pet collecting and naming thanks to the Island Sanctuary, so you can't tell me that this is too far-fetched, right? Now the collecting part though, if I was a betting man, I would say they are probably going to give us a starting pet at the get-go, and use it to fight other monsters to catch them, very much like in Pokemon. And very much like in Pokemon, we will be given a bestiary / Pokédex with the list of available monsters to capture and fill up. Probably even get a special reward once we complete the Pokédex, which would be kinda cool. Yoshi P did mention they wanted to bring a collection style to it, something like that. So, I mean, for me it makes sense. Another thing I want for Beastmaster in particular is that the pet we have with us doesn't scale to our size. I may not be playing a Lalafell at the moment, but that doesn't mean I want to see this giant turtle turn into a minion. You know what I mean? Like, just keep it the size that it's supposed to be. I am dead serious right now, Yoshi P. It is such a minor thing, but when playing Hunter in World of Warcraft, nothing was more deflating than catching this cool raptor that just turns so tiny. So, Dev Team, please, just let us keep our monsters the size they were. Thank you. Also, if we get to summon them inside the city, that would be fun. Chaotic as hell, but fun. Now, the very last hope I have for Beastmaster is for us to get some form of PvP. Think about it, if the Beastmaster job were to only be this pet itself doing all the work, they could just make it so we get to throw our beloved Mandragora against someone's behemoth. It would be great. It would be kind of sad, there would be a meta, but it would be kind of funny, to be honest. I know we probably won't be getting anything like this, since it's probably just going to be Blue Mage 2.0. We just collect a monster, add it to our spellbook, summon it, quote unquote, and we are just given a new set of skills depending on the monster, while the monster itself is just a non-entity standing to the side. But hey, a man can dream, right? This is my wish list, this is the things I hope for this kind of class. But with that being said, that's all I have to say. Take care, stay safe, and I'll be talking to you next time. Bye bye everybody.